Okay, Happy New Year everyone. It's Friday, January the 4th. I'm on the last scheduled day of my Christmas break. Decided to come down to the coast and run a section of the coast path from Bigbury on Sea to Mothecombe and back. That will be a total of about 13 miles, which is a kind of training run for a half marathon trail race I've got coming up in about 9 days time. Just to get you up to speed, my Achilles injury is getting much better. I'm about 90% there now. I've already run a few races around sort of 9-10 mile mark, and I even got a 1 minute PB on the 10.5 mile one, which was good. So I think I was tapping into my residual fitness from earlier this year before I got injured. So this is where I am. That's called Burt Island. The beach over there is Bantham. I think that's probably Hope Cove over there. So because it's difficult to get buses and things around this area. This is the South Hams of Devon. I've decided that I'm just going to run along the coast and then back to the car again. Instead of doing an A to B, it's a kind of A to B to A type thing. And annoyingly, I've got to go backtrack on myself for the first 2 or 3 miles to get to where the ferry comes in across the estuary from Bantham. But yeah, it's going to be a nice day today. It's the air temperature's about 5 or 6 degrees. It's overcast at the moment, but the sun's due to come out in about an hour's time, so it should be beautiful and hopefully catch some of the golden hour kind of light. So anyway, I'm going to get started. I need to get moving because it's quite cold today, and there appears to be a 3-hour limit on the car park, which is a bit annoying, but I'm sure I'll work that out. Well, there's my first problem already. It looks like there's a new section of coast path being opened, and it's quite confusing at the junction with the road. So it's sending me back to the car park along the cliffs because there's obviously a sign that I missed somewhere. So I think I've got to run up a great big hill. How annoying. I've had a few problems in this area before with regards to trail finding, and I just found that it appears that these days they like you to go onto the beach to pick up the ferry, when the original route comes up this hill to a farmyard. Just bumped into a local runner who tells me this is the old way, but for some reason it appears that people use the beach these days. But I'm going to do it the old way. Quite a steep hill and I'm not warmed up yet, so I'm not going to run much of it. But it's one of the things I find really annoying about running the coast path in some areas. Is just the signage is missing or it's poor. When you just want to run, it's just a pain in the arse. I've just noticed an acorn sign on this gate post, so I think it just relies on you getting the map out frequently, which is okay if you're walking, but when you're running, pain in the arse. Here we go. So we're on the right track. I'm sure this is going to be worth the effort. It's funny, it's playing on my mind, the fact that I'm having to run 1.5 miles, 2 miles up and down a big hill just to get back to the car park and then carry on in the other direction. just the way my head works. Right, onward. I think it could be time to deploy the Christmas tripod. Ooh, check me out. This film better be worth it, because I keep having so many problems this morning. This battery's just about to die. The battery's died in my remote almost immediately, even though it's fully charged. I think the cold's getting to everything, and the camera keeps resetting modes when I put it back in its case. Anyway, so this is a beautiful view we have. Burr Island, Bigbury on Sea. This is Bantham Beach. Very good for surfing sometimes, which is quite interesting for the south coast, because mainly north coast is a good surf around here. And then I think down by these pink and white buildings is where the ferry comes in. So to be true to my project, this is part of an ongoing project that's been going for 14 years for running the coast path. I'm going to run right down to the edge of the river and then back again. Actually, I think the ferry comes across there with the thatched cottages and the blue and white building. It's where you access the car park for Bantham. It's interesting to see this at low tide. Apparently it's not advised to cross it, but at very low tides I should think. If you're of an adventurous type, you might get across. I'm not saying you could, but you might. Anyway, so now I can turn around and go back through Bigbury on Sea and then head out to Mothecombe. Just got the slight issue of that hill to go back up, but it's good for the Strava climbing challenge. Please feel free to follow me on Strava. I like to have a little battle with the elevation. I usually get around 4,500 to 5,500 meters a month in. I'm not going to run all of that today. I'll run some of it. Yeah. Sun hasn't come out yet. There we go. It was recording upside down for some reason. Anyway, that hill, I ran about half of it. I might be able to do it if I didn't have the camera, but man, that would make you fit. Right, back up to the top of this hill and then down to the car park, and then I can head out west. Time for some more tripod action. Okay, I need to keep moving because I need a piss, and there's nowhere to hide it. Okay, just been back to the car, just had a quick drink of water. So I'm just carrying 500ml with me today because it's quite cold. I shouldn't be getting too thirsty. I've got to head out. I think I've got to head out the back of the car park, but we're headed out in that direction. Not going along the far headland. That's the other side of Mothecombe. So Mothecombe is in the inlet just around the first headland you can see here. That little blue tractor thing takes people over to Burr Island when the tide's in. And it looks like the sun is going to come out quite soon, which will be amazing. Okay, a bit of confusion back there. Nearly took a dead end path down to the beach, but you have to follow the road for a while and then come along here. This is Charborough. It looks like there's a nice hill with some steps the other side. I feel as I can focus on the run a bit more now. Now I kind of know where I'm going. And get some training as well as filming. Not quite to the top in one go. Almost. It's so difficult with this camera on a gimbal. The extra weight, it's quite clumsy. So this is looking west towards Wanwell, and Mothecombe is the other side of that far hill. There are 2 extra hills. I did kind of count them on the map yesterday, and I don't know, there are a few more. Still, it'd be good for my monthly ascent. So I'm down this first beach, and these hills are monstrous here. Just came down quite close to the edge there. I'm not going to push it too hard on the way out. On the way back, I think I might stash the camera in my pack for some of the hills and try and run some of the hills for a bit of training. I'm going to do about half of this one on the way out, I think. Just chug up it gently. Look at this place. Wow. These are some of the steepest hills I think I've seen on the coast path that aren't stepped. This zigzags in a minute, but that top section there had no steps in it. I have a crack of running some of these on the way back. I need to be a bit careful on the way out. Steep. Okay, just because of the top of that hill, it's hard to walk up, to power walk. Hopefully there's just one more hill on this outward journey. It's funny on these A to B to B to A side runs, the outward leg, it always feels quite odd. It's like when you know what to expect and you start returning, find psychologically it becomes easier, and it's easier to relax and to feel confident in like the ascending and stuff like that. But we've still got quite a long way to go. So about 8 miles for the whole trip, I think. No, yeah, potentially 8 miles. Let's have a look up here. Look how clear the sea is down here. Oh no, there's at least one more hill on my outward leg. Oh, right, so this is good. Just over 6 miles. This is the estuary. I think it's the River I was looking for. So it looks like I go down here, go along right towards the estuary. One of the issues I have today is that the car park at Bigbury, you're allowed to stay for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at £4, or you have to pay £9 for 24 hours. And for anyone who wants to go out for more than 3 hours, it leaves you in a bit of a predicament. And I felt quite confident that I could do this half marathon distance quite comfortably in 3 hours. Of course, I want to film as well and take a look at the view. This is supposed to be about getting away from the stresses and strains of life, but I'm going to be cutting it quite fine. I think I just have to take the risk, really. Anyway, yeah, that on the horizon over there is the southern edge of Dartmoor, and I'm going this way. These hills are amazing. And they're really quite runnable if you're fit. They're good gradients here. So I'm just exiting this Mothecombe Farm National Trust area, heading up the estuary now. Very pretty beach up there. So I've got maybe another half a mile or so to get to the ferry point, and then I can turn around and start heading back. So I think this is Mothecombe. I think that big building might be a pub. They held a race up here called Race the Tide in Mothecombe, where you run across the estuary in sort of knee-deep, waist-deep water. And I'm guessing the ferry crosses somewhere over there, so I'll carry on until I find that and then think about heading back. I'm running faster than I'd really wanted to today, and I don't think I'm going to make it back in an hour anyway. I should try. Alright, let's keep moving. So this is it. This is where you, I think I might mention a ferry. There isn't a ferry here. You have to cross a low tide. So if you're doing South West Coast Path, you have to time this with the tide. Yeah, so I've done 7.2 miles. I think this is going to be about 12 altogether. You've got 5 miles to do in an hour, which might be doable if I stash the camera. I'm going to put the camera away for a little bit now and just try and make some ground on the way home and get a bit more footage on the way back. But yeah, very pretty spot here. I think that must be the pub up the top. Okay, I'm going to stash the camera and head back. Well, I finally managed to do it in, it was 2 hours 57 in the end. I treated the return leg of that as a training run. So I think it was about, the return leg was about 5 miles, 4.5 miles. It's 812 metres of ascent in total. And I couldn't run all of the hills, even on the way back. I stuck the camera in the back of my ultra pack, and I was amazed by the difference, how much better I felt on the hills when I can move my arm properly when I'm not carrying a gimbal and a camera. So it's something to make note of. But anyway, it was brutal, and I pushed really hard in the end to get back before the ticket expired on my car in the car park. And yeah, it was quite a good way of filming it to Mothecombe and then running hard back. Something I might do in the future, or find a way of stowing the camera in the backpack. The sun never came out today, which is a bit of a shame. Or it has come out about 20 miles out at sea. Not quite what I expected, but even so, it's been a great run. It's been hard, but another one in the bank, and it feels like further progress towards my ambitions with running the Grizzly. I've got the Grizzly in March, the X2X in April, and then potentially some ultras after that if they go well. I'm still not quite there yet with fitness, but it's heading in the right direction, and the Achilles is fine. So I'm going to go now and find a coffee